Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to build an S, alright, for farming. Now this is an update to the farming build that I've done before, alright, all the modules are the same, but I'm still going to go through it with you. Basically, all I've done is updated the Arche-Tuning, but I'm going to give you guys a full overview regardless because somebody might watch this for the first time, so I'm going to give you everything you need, alright? Enjoy it, look forward to it, and before we begin, in case you guys didn't know, a little bit of shameless self-promotion. This is my music channel, alright? I'm currently working on AI music. I'm also released on all major platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all that kind of stuff. Even YouTube Music has my stuff. So yeah, if you guys want my latest music releases, head on over to my music channel or my SoundCloud page. I'm Real Asian Robot on all of them, alright? My music channel is called Chen Siddhartha Music, and I'd love your support, alright? I am branching in to something new. All right. Okay. Now that my own advertisement is done, let's get started on this Ines build. Now, first I'll remove my cam and we'll go through this step by step. For the Ines build, what you are going to learn first is the reactor. The reactor you are going to use, okay, you are going to want to pair it with the secret garden. That's the most important thing. All right. For the reactor, you're going to need an electric tech reactor. And for her farming build, okay, for farming, keep in mind, farming, tech skill power boost and skill critical hit damage is the best bang for your buck. Alright, some people like to use cooldown, it's really up to you, but tech skill power boost and skill critical hit damage, that's what works for me and that's what I use. Alright, in terms of your components, you will want a hunter auxiliary power and a hunter processor. This will give you an extra skill cooldown of -4%, but if you don't want it, then just go for any HP based set. Like, for example, you could even use a default HP based set and you'd be totally fine with that, okay? For your sensor and for your memory, I would go with the Annihilation set. Why? A 2-piece of that gives you skill duration, which buffs up your 4th skill a little bit, all right? So this is what I've got. For the rolls on your external components, max HP and MP recovery out of combat is standard for the auxiliary power. For the sensor, max MP, this must be a gold roll, except nothing less. And then MP recovery in combat must be above 0.25. Okay. For your annihilation memory, defense and MP recovery modifier, both gold rolls would be fantastic. For your processor, max shield is crucial, and since you're going to use this for farming, you want equipment drop rate increase. All right, this will help you get more drops. If you do not need the equipment drop rate increase, then of course use a hunter processor with max shield and shield recovery modifier. Okay, that's what works. Now with this particular build, we have a bit less hit points than before. We have 10,493 hit points, but this will not be a problem. I'll happily demonstrate this in Void Erosion Purge Stage 26 and Stage 27 later because both those stages have been nerfed and an S can even be used for those stages, all right? You've already seen me use her for stages 1 to 25. I'll show you a bit more advanced combat. Okay, now, the next thing you're going to need is the secret garden. For this build to work out, you need the secret garden, all right? Here are my rolls, and here are the weapon readjustments. You can take note of them. I'm not going to bother explaining them because they're not important. If you want to take a look at the modules, you can use the same modules I was using for the defiler. But again, this is not important. I'm just going to show this to you, and then you can do whatever you want with this, okay? The main key to the secret garden is this, the unique ability. Whenever you use a tech skill, it'll grant you the unique ability Pest Control with a set chance. Pest Control has a trigger rate of 50%, so it'll either trigger or it won't whenever you cast a tech-based skill. The duration lasts 10 seconds, and you can get up to 3 stacks. Every single stack is worth 16% skill power. As this is, base skill power, okay, it will multiply with your electric skill power. So it's absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you guys know this thanks to my video on skill power modifiers and how they all multiply. If you haven't seen that video yet, you might want to watch that. But the Secret Garden's unique ability is why we have it. You don't really need to invest in the gun, but you do need the unique ability to be maxed. So take note of that. If you do not have the Secret Garden on Ines, you are going to be much less effective. All right, so keep that in mind. This is the reason why we use the Secret Garden, and this is very important. Okay, now on to the Descendant modules. For the Descendant modules, here is what you are going to need. You will notice that this is the exact same build that we had before with a few minor changes. I'll explain these minor changes in a little bit, okay? Take note that we still have 7 bounces on our floating lightning. Previously, you needed maximize range to do this. Now you no longer need that thanks to Arche-Tuning. Amplification control will be enough. So for your range, you're going to need skill expansion and amplification control. Keep in mind that Ines only has a range expansion of up to 200%. My video on skill ranges and what you need to do with this should cover all the information you need. But because her max expandable range is 200% only, you are kind of overcapping, but the reason you're overcapping is because every 60% of range will give you an extra bounce on your chain lightning, especially with Time of the Hunting Hounds, so you are going to need that. Okay, Time of the Hunting Hounds is your Transcendent module. It's very necessary. For your sub-attack module, we're going to use the usual mid-air maneuvering, but if you like other types of maneuvering, feel free to use that. In terms of utility, okay, do take note of the following. We have made it so that with this particular build, you are going to use MP conversion as well as nimble fingers for your cooldown. You're also going to use focus on electric and focus on tech to get even more cooldowns, because cooldowns are super important for Ines. For your criticals, what you will need is front lines, emergency measures, and skill concentration. This is skewed toward giving you some critical hit rate, but mostly critical hit damage. Why is that the case? Because Ines relies on her passive, where you will gain skill critical hit rate increase of your max MP of 6.5% of your max MP. So by increasing your max MP, you increase your skill critical hit rate. This is how Ines can get close to 100% skill critical hits, without having to invest in skill insight, right? Because if you remember, skill insight will give you a massive amount of critical hit rate, but the problem is that it will overcap you, and since 100 is the max and you cannot go over 100, all right, you just want this type of setup to give you the best bang for your buck. Your only survival in this build is increased HP. You can actually switch this around to HP amplification if you want. It would help you squeeze out 8% more hit points in exchange for some of your max shield, and since you don't really rely on shields, this doesn't really matter. But the choice is yours. You can use either or. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. All right, but I personally prefer to use increased HP. All right, so that's what I've got, and this is the build. This is how you build up Ines for farming. Now, the other stuff that you're gonna need. For the fellow, I'm currently using the Hagio Sheepdog. Why? Hit point recovery is important, and she doesn't really use her gun. For your Inversion Reinforcer, you will need to adjust it based on the activity that you're doing. For me personally, this is what I do with her Inversion Reinforcer. I'm going to take off all the perks. Since this is a farming build, Adrenaline Rush is quite important. This is a must-have. And the other must-have in the build is basically your attribute for whatever enemy you're fighting. If you're going to be fighting against, say, Legion of Darkness, you know that they're weak to chill, so please pick chill. If you're going to be fighting Legion of Immortality, Order of Truth, please pick accordingly at a later time. Okay, so this is the first and most important thing you need to do. The last perk, you can have absolutely free reign. If you think that you need a bit of survival, then you can get Selective Cellular Stimulation. You can grab Probabilistic Recovery System. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, you can even choose like Arche Circulation. Again, there is no right or wrong answer with this. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Okay, there are a lot of choices here. Some folks like to survive a little more, so they will take something like biodensity augmentation, things like that. Again, the choice is entirely yours. You can even use antibody explosion, which is pretty fantastic. You don't really need to rely on any of these effects, but you can pick them up if you really want to. Okay, so I will usually pick a probabilistic recovery system. Why is that the case? Because this usually helps out as I'm running through the void erosions if I need to. Okay, but again, you can adjust this for whatever you want. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so there you go. That's your Inversion Reinforcer. Last but not least, let's talk about Arche-Tuning. For Arche-Tuning, your Arche-Tuning tree is going to look something like this. Okay, this will ensure that you get the maximum amount of criticals while also getting as much MP as possible, which will help your skill critical hit rate. So let's go through this together. For survival, I've just got these two. Okay, HP is very useful, boosts your max hit point amount by a little bit. Then you've got enhanced skill power. You go all the way to the right, grabbing your reduced skill cost, and of course you want enhanced skill effect range. Without this completely filled, you cannot get 7 bounces on your first skill, so keep that in mind. Then, of course, you want even more skill power. And remember that they fixed this node. They changed it from the 10% skill power modifier to just flat skill power, which is good. I still wish it was 10%, but with correct math. That being said, it is what it is. So just accept this node, go all the way up, and then go here for more skill critical hit rate and more skill critical hit damage. All right, take all the related nodes and just make sure you grab this enhanced max MP. If you are willing to sacrifice this, you can go for enhanced skill cooldowns, but I felt that it was not necessary. This will give you an extra 5.5% skill cooldown, but again, it's not really necessary. You should have more than enough cooldowns with this build. All right? Okay, now that you understand the full build, let me take you through the action. So for this demonstration, we will do 2 stages that Ines probably did not do very well before in. All right, that's stage 26 and stage 27 of the Void Erosion Purge. We'll start with stage 26 first, going against the Legion of Darkness, and I'll demonstrate how it's done. You still have to apply tactics if you're going to use Ines for this, but you can get all the way up to stage 27 with literally no difficulty, no problems whatsoever. Okay, so all you got to do is follow what I tell you and just pay attention to this demonstration. You still need to use cover. She is not invulnerable. She has barely any hit points, but you can utilize this build to happily farm the Void Erosion Purge at stage 27 pretty comfortably, so that those of you who are still struggling to get their rank 10 cores, you can get enough cores to combine, all right, into your rank 10 cores. Now, you guys remember the principles of this, right? Okay, stage 26, start. Now, at first, you've got no plasma, so it's not like you'll be able to cast very well. Shoot the shield if you have to, all right, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. However, I really recommend shooting it, and I don't want to waste time, so let's go through. As soon as you've got some plasma, cast your 4th skill, all right, and pull back to cover. Take advantage of being able to shoot through walls, because this is your biggest advantage, and you can use this constantly. Use and abuse this constantly, all right. Keep charging up your plasma and find cover and shoot. That's it. Use your 2nd skill regularly as well. Why? Because it's extremely helpful. Why not? You've got plenty of MP, and you're going to keep getting plenty of MP here. All right, so utilize that. If you die, all right, if you die, it doesn't even matter. That's why, like, you know, some people will bother going when they're getting bombarded. They'll be like, okay, I got to be careful. I got to get out of range of the bombardment. Nah, you don't even need to sweat it here. You can literally play this with barely any skill and just hide behind cover and win. All right, that's how easy it is to win, see? Just like that. Now, you will lose your plasma if you die, so try to avoid death where possible, but if it happens, don't sweat it too much. Just cast and move on. You'll be fine.
This is going to hurt.
See? Just like that. Like, they've made this so easy that you literally don't have to care.
This is awesome.
If you ever need to debuff the enemy with bypass immunity, which you should already know from your Inversion Reinforcer, just shoot them a little bit and you're good to go. The amount of damage you do in shooting doesn't really matter. Alright, all you want is to bypass immunity.
Take this. You can't escape. My
See that?
This is going to sting. Let's end this. Damn it.
For me, it's straight to...
Bastards.
Straight through. Oh. Got bombarded, so I died. Big whoop. Like I said, here it really doesn't matter. You could die dozens of times and still make it.
Damn it.
Now, a lot of people are concerned because they say, oh my god, this is so difficult. I'll say, not really. Stage 26 is a bit harder than stage 27, but like I said, you can literally play completely unconcerned, and notice how I'm still ahead of the curve. And if you just find good cover, you'll literally never lose, so don't even sweat it. I'm playing in this manner because at the end of the day, I want to show you that it doesn't matter. Even if I die that many times. I think I've died like, what, 3 times already? It literally will not affect your run because they've made a lot of this stuff easier. Last time, back before all the nerfs, in stage 29, if you died even once, your whole run was over. It used to be a nightmare trying to pass this with an S, which is why everybody switched to Clay. But now, this stage, nobody even cares anymore. You can literally just do this and win.
Begin tracking.
Died? No problem. Do you see how ridiculous it is? Like, you can literally play sloppy,
You can't escape.
never make a single evasive move, and somehow still be okay. But
Eliminate.
you probably don't want to die more than 6 times. I would say if you really want to do this well, try to avoid more than 6 deaths. Make use of walls and cover, because at the end of the day, even if it takes a little bit longer, it's the best way to survive.
This is going to hurt.
All right, final room.
My shield. Tumble.
Now for this final room, you can just run around up the top and be totally fine. Then once the last few enemies are gone and dealt with, the big boss himself will come out. Now the big kahuna can be dealt with. Now if you die to the storm wardens, don't mind it too much, but the big kahuna, you probably want to deal with him by staying under the stairs, which is very easy to do. I'm going to show you that. All right. There you go. This is FYI with the sloppiest possible play. Now I would really recommend debuffing him. Alright, it doesn't take many shots, but once you get that debuff going, it's very easy to kill him. Because you can literally just stay under the stairs and he will barely do anything to you. Alright, which makes his first phase extremely fast. And keep in mind that we're doing all this with 6 deaths hanging over our head. Alright. There you go. 6 deaths, ladies and gents. 6 deaths. Alright, most of y'all will not be playing as sloppily as I was playing here on purpose. Most of y'all will be far more skillful when taking this on, so just shoot him, get the debuff going. Once you got the debuff going, the whole fight's over.
This is going to sting.
Now, even if you make this many mistakes, literally stand behind a wall, you're never gonna die.
Keep trying.
See that? Previously, Ines stopped at stage 25. Now, there you go. You can actually pass stage 26. Look at how terrible that was. Look at how many deaths were included in that crap. That's the penalty right there, and you're still doing fine. You see? That's how bad it is. So now it's so easy to just wipe your way through this. You can just die and just never care. Okay, so you can use the same build and it will just wipe through stuff, which I guess is good for people because they can get further along. Now, stage 27 is super easy. Okay, stage 27 is ridiculously easy by comparison. You might still die, but you'll die less. You will die way less, and quite frankly, you will handle this a lot better too. Here's how it's done. Now, stage 27 is a farming stage. Okay, if this is your first time getting cores for your other weapons and things like that, this is where you want to farm your cores. So I'm gonna take this a bit more seriously. All right, here we go. As soon as the match starts, get in there. Now you'll see me properly applying techniques. Now you might want to change the weakness of your focus rounds to toxic before you get in here, because these guys are all weak to toxic, as you can see. I didn't, because I'm only going to use my gun for debuffing, but when you're actually doing this, if you use your guns properly, you can actually do quite well. So what I'll do is I'll debuff the big dudes and just keep casting. Alright, so try to stay mobile. Grab health whenever you need it. Grab health and MP whenever you need it, I should probably say. Alright, something like that. As soon as the waves start, then you can cast your thing. This is what I've taught you guys before. This is the exact same technique we applied similarly in stage, I believe, 24. Alright, this is the exact same technique. There's no difference. See a big guy, you debuff him. Big guy, debuff. You only have to hit them 10 times to get the full debuff, so it's really, really easy to do, especially considering this is a burst gun. Okay, drop both your snare traps as per normal.
Keep trying. This is going to sting a little. Ha! This is where it ends. Ha! Ha! Eliminating. Ha! Ha! Let's end this. There's no getting away. Damn it, no. Ha! This is where it ends.
Okay. There's not much explanation needed. I've done this tutorial before. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the video. All you literally need to do is just avoid most of their attacks. In fact, like I said, they don't even hurt as much anymore. Alright, their hit points are lower, which means that you can finish this a lot faster. We're about 2 minutes into the match, and we've already cleared like 75% of it. So, even with Ines, who suffers from a disadvantage because skill power is still reduced in the later stages, as is intended, alright, she can clean up stage 27 with ease. There you go. If you ever get worried, just find a box or hide behind cover and you'll be totally fine. If there's big dudes, just shoot them a couple of times so you're good. But it must be more than 5 times, right? Or else no debuff is going to be applied.
Keep trying. You can't escape.
There we go.
Let's end this. There's no getting away.
Okay, big kahuna time.
This is where it ends.
Now you can take one risk with this guy and hit him with the third skill. At the start, you don't have to take that risk if you don't want to, because you can quite literally just stand over a wall like this and shoot him, but he can't shoot you. Which is absolutely hilarious, by the way. This is a low wall. You can shoot him over it. Oh, wait, he can beam you. Whoops, sorry. I didn't realize he could actually beam you over the low wall. My bad. Well, that's what overconfidence gets you. My apologies. I thought he couldn't get me past the low wall. I forgot he has a beam attack. Don't worry. This time it's actual proper wall. He can't get you past these crates. The low wall, though, don't try what I just did, because that is apparently silly. And I was laughing at the game right there, and the game decided to laugh at me. Alright, here you go. You can stand behind a box and just do this, and you'll win. Not exactly the coolest way to win, but you'll win. Don't forget to come out and debuff him every so often. Keep that debuff on him so that you'll deal damage a little bit faster. And voila. Okay, so that's a demonstration of stage 26-27, which you previously could barely do with an S. Now you can, so yeah, enjoy. That's the updated NS build right there in full details. Y'all have fun. Okay, please be sure to enjoy this, and of course, if you guys haven't already, then don't forget to thank our top supporters for March. Here are the top people for this March. CG Mayhem is our top tipper. Top tipper also includes Jess A. Davis. Top super chatter is Lawbreaker. Top super chat list includes George Tishan, Sir Tommy, Jonathan Terry, D. Russ, Matthias M, Jody Wilkins. Top channel membership gifter is Arcane Silver 300. Top channel membership gifter list includes Jody Wilkins, Chris Campbell, Matthias M, and D. Russ. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to check out my music. I'd be very grateful if you do. Alright, more tracks are releasing every single day. Alright? Thank you, and catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.